What's up guys? Frank Dillon Photography here, and today's video is going to give you a couple of tips if you're just starting out taking photos and you want to up your game a little bit, or just give some tips to those who are budding photographers who just want to get out there and have a bit of a laugh at the camera. Tip number one is actually buy a camera. So many people just shoot on their smartphones, and that's great, and we can share and we can put it on Instagram and we can put it on Facebook, and it's brilliant and loads of people can see us. And actually, the cameras on our smartphones are brilliant. They're great. They can do great things. But just like we don't like taking notes on our phones, or we don't like doing work on our phones because we get distracted, we shouldn't just go out to shoot on our phones. Our phone is a multi-tool. It does 1,000,001 different things. But if you want to go out and we want to just shoot photos or shoot some video, then get a dedicated tool to do it. You can pick up cameras for really, really cheap nowadays, and they're amazing. They do great things. For me, I picked up a 9-year-old 5D Mark III. Now this is a professional level camera, but still, it was cheap enough, and I was able to produce amazing images. Now, if you think you're spending about £1,000 on your smartphone, you can pick up a camera for way less than that with a decent lens, and you can go out and you can actually shoot photos intentionally, going out to actually snap photos instead of just bringing your phone with you and grabbing a couple of little snaps. So if you're serious about actually wanting to take some photos in 2022, or you just want to be a bit of a hobbyist, then pick up an actual camera to go and do it with, because it makes all the difference, and you can do so much more with one of these than you can do with your phone sitting in your back pocket. So that's tip number one: buy yourself a camera and go out and enjoy it. Tip number two is kind of the same as tip number one, but it's be intentional. If you're going out and you want to take some photos and you want to get better at photography this year in 2022, the best thing to do is to be intentional and practice and keep practicing. It takes a long time to get good at something. I forget what it is, but you have to be hundreds and hundreds of hours to be an expert at anything. And photography is exactly the same. You need to go out with your camera and to practice and practice and practice, and to experiment and get creative with it as well, because it is a fun thing to be able to do. And actually, the more you try and the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. Just like riding a bike or learning a new skill, photography is just exactly the same as that. So if you're serious about using this as a hobby in 2022, then get your camera, buy your camera, take it out and practice. Practice. Tip number three is to know your gear. So he says, go out and buy a nice DSLR or a mirrorless camera or a point and shoot camera. Go out and do that. Be intentional and practice. But there's no point in practicing with one of these if you don't actually know what it does. Read up on your gear, watch some YouTube videos on the camera that you've just bought. Read the manual. Most of these cameras now come with a really thick manual. People look at it and go, no way. They don't read it, they put it down, and they just put their camera in automatic mode, and they shoot and they shoot and they shoot, and they think that's it, and they never get any better. Knowing your gear means that you can experiment with your gear and do something amazing with it. You don't need to have the best camera to get great photos. You can get great photos from your smartphone. So whatever camera that you decide to buy, or if you're just shooting on your smartphone, then get to know what it can actually do. Your smartphone has manual features as well. It can do some crazy stuff as well, some panoramic stuff, some slow-mo stuff, some stop motion stuff, whatever it may be. Go and know your gear, research your gear, read up on your gear, and practice with what your gear can actually do, rather than just go, okay, I'm gonna stick this in automatic mode, I'm gonna shoot, it looks good, and I'm happy. Tip number four is editing your photos. Again, you can take your photos, you're finished with it, and you just post it on Instagram. Brilliant. Or you go onto Instagram, you swipe left or right for a couple of cool filters, and you'll put it on Instagram and it's all done. But actually taking your photo, editing your photo, tweaking your photo, fine-tuning your photo will make you a better photographer overall. You take a snap, it's not quite bright enough, it's not quite dark enough, or it's not contrasty enough for your liking, you can tweak all of them settings in whatever application you decide to use. For me, it's Lightroom, and I love using Lightroom. It is just simple and chilled for me. I really enjoy it. But if you don't have a subscription service for Lightroom, you can do this in any application on your phone or on your computer with some free applications. I'll link a few down below so you can have a look at them. But honestly, editing your photos, tweaking your images so they look like you want them to look will automatically make you a better photographer. The thing is, you only learn, you only get better when you make mistakes, and when you learn from the mistakes and you do something a little bit different afterwards. So that's my 4 tips for you starting out in 2022 with your new camera that you're gonna go and buy off Facebook Marketplace, or you're gonna buy on Gumtree or whatever it is. Buy yourself a cheap camera, buy yourself a cheap lens, learn it, practice with it, and just create. I'm going to be posting some more videos on this channel about editing techniques. I'm going to be posting more videos about the fundamentals of photography, that exposure triangle, shutter speed, aperture. If there's anything that you guys think that you want covered, then let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to do that. But if this video has been useful or entertaining in any way, drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos just like this. And that's been me, Frank from Frank Dillon Photography, and we'll check you out in the next one. Cheers.